This story is called Sidewalk Spectres from the book Ghost Stories and Mysterious Creatures of British Columbia by author Barbara Smith. Sidewalk Spectres. Sometimes it can be difficult to figure out why a particular location is haunted. At other times, the reasons are very easy to understand. For example, in the following story from Coquitlam, which is just a short distance east of Vancouver. It seems that in the summer of 1985, the owner of a small apartment house decided to fix the place up a bit. As part of his renovations, he purchased 130 stone slabs to use as a decorative pathway. What none of the tenants in the building knew at the time was that their pretty new sidewalk had been constructed from headstones. Headstones removed when the land previously used by the nearby Woodlands Hospital Cemetery was turned into a park. The hauntings in the building began as soon as the new pathway was laid. For the most part, the displaced spirits were benign. They were, however, impossible to ignore as they wandered throughout the various suites in the apartment block. One occupant was concerned enough to bring in a psychic, who confirmed that there were many spirits about the place, but reported that most of them were quite harmless, beyond their occasionally annoying ghost-like practical jokes, such as causing electrical devices to malfunction. The people whose homes were in this particular building had more than their fair share of those sorts of problems. Toasters would spontaneously heat up, lights would turn on and off, televisions would change channels, all when no one was near them. Considerably more disturbing, however, were the ghost sightings. A woman whose name had only been recorded as Miss Schneider reported catching an occasional glimpse of the apparition of a child. In a nearby suite, however, the ghost sightings were decidedly more threatening. There, children saw disembodied faces at night, and as they stared in horror, their beds would shake violently. The building began to develop a well-deserved reputation as a haunted apartment house. Children from the neighborhood became fascinated with the place until one pried up and turned over a piece of newly installed sidewalk. The youngsters fled as soon as they discovered that the particular piece of the walk that had been upturned was a headstone from a child's grave. When the tenants expressed their displeasure at their landlord's decidedly odd sense of decorum, he relented, dug up the walk, and created a more traditional one. Unfortunately, the hauntings had already become well established and phantoms were seen in the building for many years afterwards. By the early 1990s, the energy of the understandably agitated spirits had sufficiently subsided so that the dead and the living were at last able to share their accommodations in peace. If you'd like to hear more of these stories, let me know. I have the book. I don't want to read every story in this book. However, I do enjoy more Canadian paranormal and spooky stories. In the comments, I'll put a link down where you can purchase the book yourselves and read it and enjoy it much like I have. Obviously, try and support the original author. I'm just here to read some stories that I enjoy. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.